Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwartner, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have the great pleasure of meeting with Andy Miller. He is the author of an amazing new book that is all about hiring. Tell us about it.
The book is about hiring salespeople specifically. I wrote it because, in 29 years of doing sales consulting, I've seen companies just make too many mistakes when it comes to hiring. It took me a year to find an organizational psychologist who really understood hiring and assessments. And then it was 2 years of research to really cut through fact and fiction that resulted in this great book.
The book title is The Science of Hiring Quota-Busting Sales Teams. What is a quota-busting salesperson? What do they look like?
They're all different. They're all unique. That really, the question comes down to, what is the job really? And then starting from there, because here's a statistic that blew me away. 70% of all new hires said the job was misrepresented, and everything else comes from there, right? So they don't really understand the job, so that the job description's inaccurate, the ads they write are inaccurate, the interview questions are inaccurate. They hire them and they wonder out why it's not working out.
Andy, how long does it take a company to recruit and hire a sales rep?
The average right now for a sales rep, 47 days. The best talent is off the market in 10. What is it that you need to change in your process so that you can start getting the better people before they're gone?
So what are the best sources for finding sales candidates?
The number one source for finding candidates are internal referrals. Referrals from your employees, right, and referrals from your customer base. Teachers are a great source, and then a military.
Another big issue is designing your recruiting process for optimizing diversity and inclusion. So how should sales leaders approach that?
Your first interview should not be a video or face-to-face interview. It should be over the phone, so you're not getting the visual cues, right, to say, I don't like the way they look.
Right. Why should you pay attention to the Glassdoor ratings before you start your recruiting campaign?
50% of all candidates go to your Glassdoor rating before they even respond to the ad. That's the first place they go to do their intelligence on whether you're a company they even want to be at. And of course, everybody says, I want A players. But if you're not getting an A player rating on Glassdoor, you're not getting A players.
Of the 12 most common selection methods in your book, which is the one that's most effective and which is the one that's least effective?
The least effective are resumes. A resume is only 18% predictive of a candidate's ability to do the job. And we all know there's a lot of fabrication on there, right? I mean, you just can't trust a resume. The most effective is an assessment, but not just any assessment. It needs to be, again, according to research, a job-specific assessment, questions and assessment designed for that position, tested on that audience with predictive validation, because when it comes to hiring, predictive validation is the gold standard, and it's the only one that can actually measure and predict, can this person do this job?
So is there a science to interviewing people? Is it the interviewing style, the quality of questions, or the ability to listen to your instincts? What is the key to success in a job interview?
The best interviews, the most accurate, most predictive interviews are what's considered a structured interview. Here's the piece that matters the most. You figure out what you're trying to determine. You come up with the questions that you think are the best questions to measure that. You form your questions ahead of time and you actually document your questions. And then you anticipate what are the different kinds of answers that you can get. Score the answers ahead of time. This is a great answer, worth 5 points. This is an average, worth 3. This is a terrible answer, worth 1. And then each person in the interview process should have their own set of questions with predetermined questions, predetermined answers, with scores and a scorecard. And then you all get together and you compare your scorecards to identify who would be the best candidate.
Now we're in a virtual environment. How can you tell if a sales candidate can work remotely?
That's a tough one. The only way that I know of doing that is using the right kind of assessment to measure their ability to work remotely. I mean, the question is, can you thrive working remotely, or do you just get by? And it's funny where we talked about DISC a little bit earlier. The I's, who are high, interactive people, they don't do well working remotely.
So once people are hired, the next step is onboarding. I don't know whether you cover this extensively in your book, but what is your best practice?
The best onboarding is 90 days or 3 months to 12 months long. 62% of companies are less than 90 days. Yeah, I always think of it as that's kind of like getting married, and after 30 days, not talking to your spouse. How's that going to work out?
Right. Andy, when does the book come out?
So the book officially launches on February 10th.